Hello and welcome to another episode of Dominick's Idea Vault. Now, I will start off this video by apologizing for the lack of episodes. I was busy doing the character redesign, so that's why I haven't been pumping out as much of these as I anticipated. Now with that out of the way, now we can actually get on to the episode. So, we all know Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night, right? One of the bigger Five Nights at Freddy's games in terms of character rosters. You know who else has a lot of characters? Me. Well, at least as of recently. So now let's make an Ultimate Custom Night roster using my characters and some other crossover characters, because why not? It's fictional, so I can use whatever copyrighted character I can. Plus, it would also be a fan game as well, so again, I literally have no restrictions. Now, before we actually get to the characters, we should talk about the map. So, the original Ultimate Custom Night just copies the map from the first Five Nights at Freddy's game. Like, seriously, you can actually compare them and see it's the exact same layout. The cameras may be in different positions, but otherwise it's the exact same layout as the original Five Nights at Freddy's 1. So, the next logical step would be using the layout from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Although, I will need to do a few adjustments for certain mechanics. There we go, good as new. Now with that out of the way, now we can actually get to the characters. Oh, and for the record, I am referring to them as characters rather than animatronics because, well, only a few of them are animatronics. In any case, the characters we have are me, duh, of course I'm gonna be in here, Jessica, Alien, Crown Kid, Wyatt, Zoe, Strawby, Morgan, Meteor, Gangaro, Liam, Victoria, Coin Toad, Sonic, Sage, Inkling Girl, Pearl, Scrat, Meggy, Tari, Belle, Henry, Imposter, Hat Kid, Bo Kid, The Collector, Peppino, Toppin' Monster, Phantom Dusty, Phantom Goomba, Withered Freddy, Withered Foxy, Phantom Chica, Phantom Marionette, Nightmare Foxy, Jacko Bonnie, Funtime Freddy, Biddy Bab, Glamrock Freddy, Monty, Glamrock Chica, Roxanne Wolf, Candy, Cindy, Chester, Penguin, Old Candy, Blank, The Rat, and Talking Flower. Before we get on to character mechanics, I will have to preface that I will do these in groups, just so it's faster and more convenient for me. Starting off with the front hall characters. Tari and Withered Freddy will appear in the front hall and approach your office from there. Once they do, you will put on your mask so they can go away. Withered Foxy will also appear in the hall, and whenever he does, you have to flash remove the flashlight. Withered Freddy and Withered Foxy are essentially just their mechanics from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Nightmare Foxy will also appear in the hall. If you hear his footsteps, quickly flash the light down the front hall to make him go away. Essentially the same as Withered Foxy, but without any visual cues. You have to use sound to your advantage here. Moving over to the right hall, Strawberry will slowly approach the right hall. If you see her at the door, shut it. Simple as that. Sonic will sprint down the hall and you have to shut it before he gets to your office. Essentially Foxy from FNAF 1. When Funtime Freddy announces his attack, you have to shut the right door. That way Bon Bon won't kill you. I know this is different than his usual mechanic where, depending on what he says, you have to shut the respective door, but considering you can't shut the front hall, it seems a little unnecessary, and there's no way the mask will do anything. He's flying at you pretty fast, so he's just a right hall character. Meteor will come from Pottery Room 4 and he will go inside the right vent. If you see him in your office, tickle him with the feather on your desk to send him back. I wanted to utilize the mechanic with his feathers, so that's what I did. Zoe can come from either of the two vents, and if you see her in any of them, you have to flash her with the light. The Penguin will try and sneak through the right vent. Wear the mask until you hear him go away. If he slips in, he will disable your doors. Several characters will go through air ducts. Those characters being me, Alien, Wyatt, Liam, Victoria, and Henry. And they all essentially work the same way. You have to use audio alerts to make sure they go away. The only major characters that actually have different mechanics would be me and Henry. If I slip in, I will disable your cameras, and if Henry slips in, he'll do the distraction dance, creating an auditory disturbance. The two rooms in the corners are dedicated to Collector and Sage. If they're close to the door on the cameras, you have to shut it. If Sage gets in, she will disable your flashlight. If Collector gets in, he'll steal your mask. Several characters require the cameras, those being Jessica, Pearl, Maggie, Belle, Hackett, and Glamrock Chica. Jessica will be on the cameras bobbing her head to the music. If she stops bobbing her head, you have to change the music before she kills you. Sort of like Chica from the original Ultimate Custom Night, but the difference is that you can actually see her. Speaking of characters that are like the original Ultimate Custom Night, check the stage to see when Pearl's show is about to begin. Then be sure to watch her cam at the exact time to postpone the show, otherwise she'll mess up your audio systems. Like Funtime Foxy from the original UCN, but she won't kill you, she'll just deactivate your audio. Maggie will appear in the pool room, just standing by the edge of the pool. You have to push her in before she messes up your audio systems. This is a reference to Jessica's Ultimate Collab, at least one of my entries, where Jessica pushes Maggie into the pool. Belle essentially has the exact same mechanic as Toy Freddy from the original UCN, and that's all I'm going to say about that because it's a very long description. I think I wanted a different game there, but I don't know any other games that wouldn't have overcomplicated the gameplay. Once Hat Kid appears in your room, you have to look on the cameras to find her timepiece to send her away, like Rockstar Bonnie in the original UCN. Once Glamrock Chica appears in your office, you have to go to the kitchen camera and send a garbage chute down, that way she'll leave. This is a reference to Help Wanted 2, at least in Fizzy Faz Night, where you have to send garbage down to make Chica go away. Monty and Chester basically have the same mechanic as Bonnie and Foxy from the original UCN. And that's all I'm going to say about that because it's a very long description. You see that empty space behind you? Yeah, that's supposed to be a bed. And there's only 2 characters that even use that spot. At least as far as you know. When Scrat is active, the acorn dolls, which is usually like acorn plus frettles, because I'm lazy, but they'll start to accumulate on your bed. Shine the flash on them before Scrat appears, so just Nightmare Freddy from FNAF 4. If you check the camera behind the bed and you see blank there, then you have a few seconds to shut the bed door behind you. It's essentially Blank's mechanic from the original Five Nights at Candy's, but there wasn't any better room to actually put the door at, so I just stuck it above the bed. Gangrel is basically Funtime Chica from the original UCN. And yes, I do find her that attractive. I'm just a sucker for girls that have like 2 brain cells. Anyone love Bernice White in here? At random points in the night, the Inkling will appear in your office and cover your screen, making it basically impossible to see. So you have to work with muscle memory to actually do this. If you want a better comparison, compare this to the blooper from Mario Kart. Maybe a terrible mechanic in Mario Kart, but I think the idea works perfectly for a Five Nights at Freddy's-esque game. All the Phantom characters are in their own group. Phantom Desti will slowly fade into your office. Use your flashlight to make her go away. If you don't, she'll jump scare you. When Phantom Goomba appears on your camera, flip it down or change the cam to make him go away. Both of those are based off of Phantom Freddy and Phantom Balloon Boy in the original UCN. Phantom Chica will randomly appear on your maintenance panel. Flip it back down to make sure she doesn't scare you. This mechanic comes from Five Nights at Sonic's Manic Mania. I know, I chose a different source for my mechanics. Ain't that interesting? When Phantom Marionette appears on your cameras, flip it down or change the camera to make him go away. But instead of him scaring you, he will do whatever this is in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. And just like the original UCN, there are 3 characters that require you to buy their plush toy before they get into your office. Those being Morgan, Candy, and Cindy. And now the miscellaneous part. It's just for any character mechanics that I don't think can fit anywhere else. So for Crown Kid, when he appears in your office, he will do that cup shuffling minigame. You know? Click the crown that you think the ball is under. If you're right, he won't scare you. Cointed will appear in your office and ask you to deposit him 5 coins occasionally. So basically, Rockstar Freddy, but the difference is you can't turn the heater on to make him malfunction. He's not a robot, so he'll just kill you if you don't give him the 5 coins. The imposter will put random Among Us tasks on your screen occasionally. Complete them to not get scared. And these are more simple ones, like connecting wires and making a sandwich. You're not going to be jumping room to room to send data or anything like that. That wouldn't make sense. Bo-Kid can appear from either of the 2 halls. To make her go away, put the Pet's Childhood Pet cutout to the correct door, like Rockstar Chica from UCN. I did it this way because I think it's pretty well known that Bo-Kid loves cats, so it makes sense to use a dog to drive her away or something like that. Peppino will randomly appear in your office to turn off your light. Turn it back on to drive him away. This is a reference to the title screen of Pizza Tower, where if you sit on it for too long without turning the light on, he will just jump scare you and just close your game. Whenever you see a flying patroller in your office, click it to destroy it, otherwise he will alert the Toppin monster and he will kill you. If you have the heater on for too long, Jack or Bonnie will appear in both halls at the same time. Just turn it off to make them go away. Basically, Jack or Chica from the original UCN, which, yeah, that makes sense. I think one major difference is that the furnace will act more like how the furnace does in One Night at Flimsy's 3, where you have to occasionally turn to it to make sure you don't freeze up. So, turning off the heater to not die to Jack or Bonnie also risks you freezing up in the office, potentially leaving any other character from attacking you. Biddy Bab can appear in either of the 2 hallways, and he will drain your power. Send him a controlled shock to make him go away. Whenever Glimmer Freddy appears in your office, you have to do a little game of Simon Says, based off of the Parts and Service minigame in Security Breach. When Roxy appears in your office, you have to put makeup on her to avoid her attack. Basically based off of the Help Wanted 2 minigame, but not going to be as complicated because, you have so many other things to worry about. Old Candy will slowly close his jaws around you like Nightmare Chica from UCN. That's basically all I have to say about that. Rat will randomly appear in your office. When he does, either put your mask on or flip with your camera to make him go away. So basically Golden Freddy from FNAF 2. And Talking Flower will essentially act as the phone guy, so he'll just say random voice lines, creating an auditory disturbance. I should have mentioned that I don't think I have too many characters that actually are affected by auditory disturbance, or at least not anyone specific, so instead, it just attracts anyone to your office if you have an auditory disturbance. It'll just make them come faster. And that's all 50 characters. Thank you for watching this episode of Dominick's Idea Vault. It's been a while, but yeah, I'm not killing the series just yet. I literally only made 2 episodes. So, yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys later.